Good morning, gentlemen, and what a grand morning it is, too. We have just cause for celebration. Galloway and Phelps are sending another fiend to San Quentin. A nice showy trial, and he'll be strapped down with gas seeping into his tiny reptile brain. Now, to fresh business. Galloway and Phelps, the task is at hand. The address is on the hill, north downtown off Fremont Avenue.
Yeah, I'm thinking Skipper, is the new letter genuine?
Now, boys, we all know how many imbeciles have confessed in the short case. Ray Pinker will let us know in good time.
Willkommen bei einer neuen Folge von Livestream von LA Noire. Es geht weiter. Es tut mir leid, dass es nichts mehr kam.
A fine morning indeed. We keep locking them up, but the bodies keep piling up.
Californians love a fad, Phelps. As long as the bricks hold up at San Quentin, there'll always be killers in this town to send.
Greetings from sunny California. Doesn't want to stop.
Aber glaub mir, immer wenn ich einen Livestream starten wollte, hat es immer geregnet. Es war jedes Mal aufs Neue, immer ein scheiß Wetter. Ihr wisst selber, wie scheiß das Wetter in Deutschland sein kann. Ja.
First a letter, and now another body. Come on, you can't keep on telling me there's not a killer still out there.
You know, Phelps, all these arrests and the racket are giving me a reputation. We don't want them turning into unsolved.
Getting a vicious killer off the streets is more important than my reputation.
Really?
And besides, landing a big fat marlin is more impressive than an ocean full of minnows.
The minnows maketh the man, Phelps. You can't always hit home runs. Sometimes you just gotta make first base.
KGP on 20 Century Unit. The citizen reports a man with a gun on Grand between 4th and 5th. Any Century Unit identified.
This is car 11K, go ahead.
11K, citizen reports a man with a gun on Grand between 4th and 5th Street. Suspect described as Hispanic.
Während es regnet, wie ich schon live gehe.
Please, you've got to call for help. He doesn't look real good.
Quick, what happened?
Some punk held up my stand. This guy tried to help and got a bullet for his trouble. He got hit and hightailed it through the parking lot. Get going.
You gotta get me closer!
Ja, aber...
You come any closer, I'll pull the trigger.
Put the weapon down, now! You want to back off, right now.
You want me to paint the fucking sidewalk? You fucking asked for it! What the hell?
What are you waiting for, Phelps? Up and at him. I'll hold up here, Phelps.
Nicht mit mir, mein Lieber. Ich bin COD-Profi, nicht was. Das bin ich jetzt nicht. Ich bin kein COD-Profi, leider nicht.
Car 11K calling KGPL. Shots fired. Suspect is down. We're code 4, but I need an ambulance on Grand between 4th and 5th Streets.
11K, roger on your ambulance. All units be advised the suspect is down on Grand between 4th and 5th Streets.
Can you drive to this one?
Down, code 4.
Gas! Ja, und weil ich weiß, dass mein Internet so scheiße ist, ne, kann das sein, dass ich mal Unterbrechungen habe. Und das will ich nicht. Und darum wird auch der Livestream heute ein bisschen kürzer sein als
Detectives?
Phelps and Galloway, homicide.
Scene is secure. The rest of the patrolmen are going door to door, canvassing for witnesses.
Thanks. Keep me informed.
Will do, Detective.
This looks awfully familiar.
I think that's the impression the boys from the Examiner took with them as well.
There's nothing original under the sun. Why should murder be any different?
What do we have so far?
Not much trace evidence to speak of. Storm blew in around 10 last night, and the rain washed most of it away.
And the body?
Looks like she was tipped out of an automobile from the tire tracks and superficial injuries. Strangled with a length of rope. And for my money, it's triple braid again.
Time of death?
From her temperature, maybe 2 a.m., but it was cold last night.
Usual head injuries.
Blunt force trauma. Knock him over the head, then strangle and mutilate. No message with this one.
At least she was left clothed.
I doubt very much he was concerned with her dignity.
The green silk dress is very distinctive. Any sign of her other shoe?
No. And no handbag or other personal effects.
Okay. Wir finden Geld. Es war wieder kein
Doesn't look like
Geldraub.
anything.
Es war einfach nur ein Mord. Einfach wieder nur ein Mord. Oder geht irgendwas?
Catch all the good ones, Phelps.
Hier ist doch was. Ach so. Ja, geil.
Our driver and our killer are most likely one and the same.
Ich laufe hier rum und er zeigt mir das hier an. Ey. Fußabdrücke.
No drag marks. The killer was moving around, surveying the scene. It doesn't appear to be connected.
Okay, lass mal schauen. Der hat auch ein bisschen geraucht.
Probably
Frau
nothing.
hat geraucht, keine Ahnung. Ich glaube, er hat geraucht. Am besten mal zur Frau. Sind wieder.
There appears to be a dry cleaning label. Superior Laundry Services, F1363.
Okay, perfekt. Der Ehering. Okay, hier ist nichts. Hier ist kein Ehering. Was gibt es hier? Okay, bei ihr wurde diesmal kein Ring oder so geklaut, weil okay, hatte, glaube ich. Ich würde in die Brust, geht es nicht. Okay, geht anscheinend nicht. Kann ich mit euch reden? Nö. Er meinte gerade eben, da fehlt ein Schuh bei. Oh ja, stimmt, da fehlt wirklich ein Schuh. Okay.
Detectives, I've been working the houses across the street and up the block. This lady thinks she has something for us.
Detective Phelps, LAPD.
I'm Mrs. Barton, Catherine Barton. I live just across the way.
Okay, dann lass mal schauen.
Did you see anyone around here last night?
Not last night, but yesterday, early evening, I saw that awful hobo.
Do you have a description?
Tall, gaunt, horribly disfigured. I think he may have had an accident in the war. He's a very scary, angry man.
Any idea where we might find him?
One of the hobo camps around here. He's some kind of hobo leader. They all follow him around.
Thank you, ma'am. You've been a big help.
Of course. Anything I can do to help. I'd hate to think that something so ghastly could happen right here and nothing be done about it.
Danke, Fräulein. Ich muss mal kurz telefonieren.
Phelps, 1247.
How can I help, Detective?
I need an address on Superior Laundry Services.
Just a moment. Superior Laundry Services, 1260 West 1st Street.
Can you track down reports of hobo camps in the vicinity of Signal Hill?
Just a moment, Detective. There's a large camp under the bridge on Grand between Temple and Sunset.
Thanks for your help.
Okay. Ja, nee.
You know the way. You can drive.
And where exactly are we going?
Ich schwöre, dass du fährst jetzt extra. Glaub mir, mein Lieber. Wohin fahren wir denn? Service. Was ist denn das? Wäscherei. Oh, ja.
No message.
Excuse me?
There was no message.
Where?
On the Vic. The last bodies had something written on them. This one didn't.
I'm failing to follow you.
Can't be the same guy is what I'm saying, all right? Before you start trying to link this to Maldonado and all the others.
There are more factors to consider than the messages, Rusty.
This doesn't fit your pattern, Cole. End of conversation. Understand?
Ja, damit nochmal herzlich willkommen. Ne? Nochmal, ja. Ich hoffe, euch geht's gut, mir geht's sehr gut. Corona halt und so. Was macht ihr eigentlich in der Corona-Zeit? Seid ihr auch mal raus? Ich war vorhin vor kurzem noch draußen gewesen.
At least the rain stopped. You can change back into those white bucks now.
So. Und da war es auch so, dass
Phelps and Galloway, LAPD. We're investigating a case and one of your laundry labels came up. F1363.
If you give me a minute, I'll go find a register and you can take a look. You take a look for yourself. I've got clothes that need pressing.
Yes, you can.
You wrote the number down on that dress, is it there?
Okay, lass mal schauen. Lass mal schauen. Wir suchen wir denn nochmal? Wir suchen Dings, gell? Diese eine Nummer da.
Mrs. T. Terrellson, 43 Emerald Street, Westlake.
Die haben wir. Schauen wir mal da raus. Okay, dann fahr du mal noch mal.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
Fine. Where are we headed?
Hier unten.
I've got a feeling we're about to meet another wife killer.
You've always got that feeling, Rusty.
Yeah, and it's usually correct.
Please, for once, can you not let your assumptions color your detective work?
Just you wait. Nordic types show a particular disposition for this stuff.
Heute gibt es aber nur 2 Fälle, weil ich ein bisschen aufpassen muss und Internet. Man kann dann sich vergleichen und es ist ja wieder aus. Das will ich halt nicht. Das ist ein schönes Haus mit sehr vielen Blumen. Das ist echt ein cooles Haus eigentlich. Was ist denn das hier unten? Ist eigentlich Sand. Weil von hier sah es so aus, als wenn es Lampen wäre, weißt du? Aber ist ein schönes Haus mit sehr vielen Blumen. Die Frau oder Mann oder was auch immer ist, mag Blumen.
Hello? Yes?
Detectives Phelps and Galloway. Is your wife home, sir?
My wife went out last night and she hasn't come home.
Can you describe your wife and what she was wearing?
We were out at a friend's place, Bobby Ross's, for a party. She was kind of dolled up. She had her green silk dress, open-toed white shoes. Those are her favorite shoes.
Can we come in, Mr. Tarleton? I'm afraid we have some rather bad news. Do you have someone who can look after your children, Mr. Tarleton?
I've been trying to arrange a sitter. Look, tell me what's happened.
I'm afraid your wife was murdered last night. Her body was found this morning. We're very sorry for your loss. I know this is a difficult time, Mr. Tarleton, but we are going to need you to answer some questions. First, we're going to take a look around.
What for? You don't think
it's procedure. You see to your girls.
Stay here till Daddy's finished talking to these men.
Where's Mommy?
Everything's gonna be all right, sweetheart.
We would like Mommy to come home now, Daddy.
What's the problem, Tarleton? Let him search. You got nothing to hide. You want to hear something funny, Tarleton? Some bums think filling out a missing persons report actually rules them out as a suspect.
I wonder why the picture was turned down.
Gab mal hübschere Frauen. Nein! Oh.
Need to check if she was a regular.
Baron's Bar. Kann man die Bürste... Ne, Bürste kann man nicht nehmen. Halt!
I don't think so.
Aber ihre Tasche. Okay, egal.
Nothing significant.
Nein, das ist nicht wichtig. Ist das hier?
Don't think this is any use to us.
Auch nichts Wichtiges. Was gibt's hier? Ich will dasselbe.
Baron's bar again. Someone must be real sweet on this dive.
Da geht sie oder er anscheinend sehr, sehr gerne hin. Halt. Das Boot ist auch draußen. Da gehen wir auch mal hin gleich.
If you'd excuse me, ladies.
Gehen wir auch gleich hin. Was ist denn hier Schönes?
Maybe if... No.
Wie nein?
I'll be out of your way momentarily, ladies.
Okay, dann lass mich hier gucken. Mach mal auf die Scheiße.
So she went out without her handbag?
Erstmal oben das hier. Führerschein. Weiblich 36, 21, ja.
She'd have to be in quite a state to leave this behind. At least she was spared that particular indignity.
Ja. Okay. Das... Halt! Mann!
Lars was out in the rain last night.
Ja, kann auch heute Morgen sein, ne? Das muss nicht unbedingt gestern sein. Ui.
You can see if Pinker can match the impression to the crime scene.
Ein bisschen schmutzig, hä? Die Jacke ist hier, die Ding ist auch nass. Dann gehen wir mal raus und gucken uns ein bisschen draußen um, würde ich sagen. An dem Boot. Wo ist das Boot? Die haben einen Hund und ein Tier haben die dort. Hier ist das Boot. Sei abgeschnitten.
Looks like a match with the ligature marks.
Okay. Was anderes tut es nicht. Dann, Mister, erzähl uns mal ein bisschen was. Ne? Guck mal. Hier ist ein Telefonzeichen die ganze Zeit. Hier ist ein Telefonieren.
Operator, give me dispatch.
Putting you through now.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
Can you run an address for a Bobby Ross? Then send some uniforms over.
Would you like him picked up?
No. Suspect says he was with Ross last night. We need to confirm the alibi.
I'll get a prowl car dispatched.
Thanks.
Okay, Mister.
For the record, Mr. Tarleton, what is your wife's name?
Teresa.
Do you have any idea why anyone would want to hurt your wife?
No. Everyone loved Teresa. She was so full of life. It can't be anyone who knew her.
Okay.
I think you're lying, Lars. I think you were mad at your wife for embarrassing you in front of your friends. I think you came back here and strangled her and then dumped her body on the hill.
You think I strangled my wife? How do you expect to prove that?
Ich hab nichts anderes zu sagen. Stimmt das denn überhaupt? Ich weiß gar nicht. Ich hoffe, er stimmt.
Your wife was strangled with triple braid rope. The bow line from your boat is a perfect match.
Look, I know this looks bad. I'm gonna have to come to terms with the fact that I let her go.
You said you went to a party at Bobby Ross's place?
That's right. Bobby had a bunch of people over. We were having a good time. She said she was bored and decided to leave.
Du bist aber ein bisschen Dingens, gell? Was ist denn los mit dir? Entspann dich mal.
You let your drunk wife leave the party and go off on her own?
Look, I was angry. I was having a good time. She has to go and ruin it. We always have to do what she wants to do. Last night she wanted to go dancing.
Any idea where?
Where she always goes. Bar down on North Beaudry Avenue. Baron's Bar. She goes there, drinks too much, gets maudlin, and calls me. I go and bring her home.
Ja, das ist die Irre. Anscheinend ist es wohl ihre Lieblingsbau.
Mr. Terrellson, was Teresa happy at home?
Yeah, I think she was.
Nee, ich glaube nicht, wenn ihr euch mal gestritten habt und wenn ihr euch mal streitet und dann kommt einer und sagt, seid ihr denn glücklich? Dann sagt man nicht ja. Also, okay, in einer Beziehung kann man sich streiten, aber wenn ihr euch jedes Mal streitet, das ist für mich nur... Und du schaust ganz gut, ich glaube nicht.
Spill it, Terrellson. We like the look of you for this, so you'd better give us something.
We're at the party. She has a few and says she wants to go out dancing. We only have the sitter until 9. I get mad. I tell her to go ahead, but I'm staying. She storms out. Look, I'm doing well at cards. I hardly ever do well. I married her because she was so much fun, but now she drives me fucking crazy.
What time did she leave the party?
About 8:30, maybe a little earlier.
When was the last time you saw your wife?
Around 8:30. The card game at Bobby's was wrapping up. I played out my hand and drove home here. I paid the sitter and went to bed.
You're lying, Lars. You didn't come straight home, did you?
And how do you figure that?
You were out in the rain. You got soaked, Lars. We found your wet weather gear.
Okay, I stayed a little later than I said. This cute little brunette was hitting on me. Teresa noticed. I was half cut. I walked her home from Bobby's, but nothing happened. I walked back and got the car this morning.
Thanks for answering our questions, Mr. Terrellson. You'll need to go downtown to identify your wife's body.
I should have taken her dancing.
In my experience, Mac, you give in to broads, you'll be giving in to them your entire life. Sounds like the Terrellson broad had her last drink at Barron's bar. We should check the place out.
Okay.
Appreciate your time, sir.
You believe this guy's story?
Kind of rings true.
Saw that big case.
Barron's bar. Barron's bar. Whoa, 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 whoa. Shit. Lass mal bei ihrer Lieblingsbar gucken.
Everyone's a dog.
So,
gents, drink?
Hello.
Phelps and Galloway, LAPD.
I'm Benny Clough. This about Teresa Terrellson?
Yes, it is.
I heard about it on the radio. They're saying it was that Black Dahlia freak again? God damn it. Yeah, I rang that husband of hers. The babysitter said he was out.
If you don't mind, we have a few questions. What time did Teresa leave?
Around 10:30, I think.
On foot? In a car? By bus? How was it?
She called for a cab.
Did you get the number?
Sure I did. I like Teresa. The only time she has a drink is when things aren't going so good at home. I was worried about her.
That cherry pie was delicious.
Don't. Das war's da unten. Da unten, Mann, da unten.
Put out an APB on the cab. 3591. Should be traceable. Who was she with? We've had reports about a tall, gaunt-looking hobo. He wasn't here last night?
I get plenty of bums in here, but nothing to fit that description.
The likelihood is that whoever she left here with killed her. Give it up, Benny.
All right, 2 creeps were all over her, promising to take her dancing.
You get a good look at these guys?
Sure. I got a good look. One of them was a sailor in uniform. His cap said, USS Indiana.
And the other man?
The other guy is Richard Bates. He's sitting in the back right now. Red polo shirt.
Any idea where she was headed?
Nope. I didn't get that.
The husband said she wanted to go dancing.
And she always wants to dance when she's been drinking. She was trying to talk some guys into taking her to one of the dance halls.
Thank you for your help, Mr. Clough. We'll take it from here.
Hey, no problem.
This is Bates.
That's him.
LAPD, don't make me chase you, shitbird.
Oh, man.
You can't let the son of a bitch get away.
Warum, Mann? Warum?
What is that?
Go, Phelps, get after it. Come on, you got a ride. Get in and drive.
I thought you were gonna leave me there.
Who knows what this guy will pull when he's cornered? We could have a killer on our hands. I don't think the killer would be kicking back in the bar where he met the Vic in.
Listen, a creature of habit is your killer. For some reason, they're sticklers for routine.
Don't go to sleep on me. Get me back in close. Hit him. Clean this asshole off the road. I'll try to shoot out his tires. Wish me luck.
Let's end this farce.
All right, you got it. I've had enough.
Give it up, LAPD.
Yo, man, karussell yaptı.
Okay, Bates. You're gonna answer some questions.
I have a choice in this.
Last night, you went drinking with a lady in the bar. Now she's dead, and your face is all messed up.
I'm in the clear on that. She preferred a sailor. You could lay it off on him. Are we finished?
Do you want my partner to sap you? Tell us what we want to know.
She was okay. Drunk. Pissed off at her old man, wanting to go dancing. I thought I'd ply her with a few drinks and get my end away. Looks like your salty had the same idea.
So what happened when you left the bar?
Sailor boy laid one on me. A cheap shot. After that, I don't know.
You've done time, haven't you, Richard? Is that why you ran?
I'm on parole.
On what offense?
Sexual assault. Look, I was lying there on the sidewalk. He flags a cab and jumps in with the broad.
We're taking you in, Bates.
How come?
Just for a chat. Nice private chat. I'll explain my theory of once a degenerate, always a degenerate.
Take him to Central. He's a material witness in a murder case. Find him a cozy cell.
Richard here knows the drill.
Jo. Da ist ein Telefon. Da ist ein Telefon. Da ist ein Telefon. Oh yeah.
Phelps, 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need an APB out on a yellow cab, number 3591. Ask dispatch to relay all sightings to car 11K.
No problem. I'll get on the radio.
Were there any incident reports filed in the vicinity of Barron's Bar on North Beaudry Avenue? We're tracking a sailor who was involved in a fight outside the bar.
I can check the reports, Detective. I have a message for you from Captain Donnelly. Message reads, James Jessup, U.S. Navy able seaman, has information relevant to your case. Jessup is currently being detained at Central Station.
Could be our man.
Thanks, ma'am.
Seems like a nice boy, putting all those hoodlums in.
Zijn we op een date bevestigd? Okay, das ist ein Zentralrevier. Go, go.
Car 11K, we have a response on your APB regarding yellow cab number 3591. The vehicle has been identified at a gas station. Now heading west on 7th Street.
Garage on 7th Street. Let's hit it, Phelps. The cab driver might tie this whole thing together.
I hope you're right.
You see our taxi anywhere?
Okay. Then we go. Beeilung. Nein! Ja, wie stabil du bist. Du bist richtig stabil, Mann. Auf Beton. Weiter die Tür hier, Alter.
.11K, yellow cab number 3591, sighted at the corner of Wilshire and Whitmer. Repeat, Wilshire and Whitmer, 11K.
Hello.
LAPD, we're investigating a murder.
What's that got to do with me?
The fare you picked up from Barron's Bar last night. What was the woman wearing?
It was a green dress. Oh, don't tell me something's happened to her.
Tell me about her.
She was with this sailor, and he was all over her. She wasn't having any of it. Said she just wanted to dance. But he had that look in his eye.
Where did you drop them off?
It's at the Crystal Ballroom.
What time?
After midnight. 12:30? Something like that.
Thanks. You've been a big help.
Well, that's gonna ruin my day.
Ist ein bisschen sauer auf uns, ja? Aber das juckt mich einen Scheiß. Das juckt mich einen Scheiß. Ab zum Zentralrevier. Go, go, go.
105 North Avenue.
So. Wir haben den Hallo. Hallo. Aufpassen, ja? Wow, Alter.
Breathe, Phelps. Breathe, damn it.
Ja, chill, Bro. Chill. Ganz ruhig. Ich bin der beste Fahrer in ganz Los Angeles.
Shots fired, 313 Bunker Hill Avenue, 313 Bunker Hill Avenue, unit to handle code 3 identified.
If you want to leave that one to the uniform, that's fine. You got plenty to get on.
Why don't you come on out, Jimmy? I won't let them hurt you. Not my honey boy.
I told you not to call me that, woman. Now shut the hell up.
You shut the hell up.
that the lady of the house?
It's a nice story. Two old lovebirds just moved in together. But they had a falling out and chased her across the yard with a club.
Get the bastard! Officer down! Give yourself up! Now!
Reinforcements are on the way. Cease and desist. Stay down.
What have they done to you?
Ich brauche einen neuen Hut, Mann. Du hast meinen Hut zerfetzt. Du hast meinen Hut zerfetzt. Das geht gar nicht, okay? Du hast meinen Hut zerfetzt. Ich brauche einen neuen Hut, Mann. Ich brauche deswegen hier nur einen Anzug. Mein Hut ist mehr da. Ich habe einen neuen Hut gekauft. Passend zum Anzug. Jetzt fahr du, komm.
You can drive.
Ja, bitte fahr du. Voll die Frau, Alter. Ich will auch so eine Ehefrau haben. Weißt du? Halt die Schnauze, ich bring mich um, sagt sie, halt du Fresse, Hurensohn. Oder andere. Oh, das muss ich sagen, ne? Egal. Der hat meinen Hut zerfetzt, Mann. Was soll das? Was soll das? Du hast meinen Hut zerfetzt. Mein Hut. Mann. Ich geh mir gleich mal einen Anzug kaufen. Scheißegal, das ist mein Hut zerfetzt. Da ist ein Loch drin jetzt. Obwohl ich einen neuen gekauft habe. Nur mal kurz. Da unten, ja, da ist ein Loch. Geht gar nichts zu. Das geht überhaupt nicht. Haben wir denn neue Anzüge? Nee, ne? Haben wir denn neue Anzüge? Haben wir denn neue Anzüge? Man, wenn ich so einfach fahre, geht einfach auch. Kann ich dann so einfach auch rumlaufen? Ja, oder?
He's in interview 2.
Thanks. What do you make of him?
Sailor on furlough who looks like he's in trouble and knows it.
Verhörraum 2. Das ist der.
Detectives Phelps and Galloway. We know why you're here, Jessup, so it would be best if you answered our questions truthfully.
I don't want any trouble. That's why I'm here. I heard on the radio about this lady getting killed. I got leave from my CO to come down straight away.
So why did you kill her?
I didn't kill anyone. Look, you need to believe me.
Let's start at the beginning. You went to Barron's Bar. What time did you arrive?
I got a 24-hour pass. I got there around 7.
That's where you met Teresa Terrelson?
Sure. We had a couple of drinks.
So you tried to make a woman who was incredibly drunk?
Look, I'm not proud of myself, but I never hurt her.
You took her dancing?
That's right. Caught a cab to the Crystal Ballroom.
You had a fist fight with Richard Bates over Mrs. Terrelson.
You met the guy? He's a creep. You should take a look at him for this.
Yeah.
He's pointing the finger directly at you, Jessup.
I only had one night before I was back in the tub. He had all the time in the world to look for some action. I belted him. I'd do it again. She was better off with me.
Sure. You're a shining example of chivalry, Jessup. Where did you go after the Crystal Ballroom?
I think the wind had gone out of her sails by then. She caught a cab, and I caught a bus back to the base.
We spoke to the cab driver. Tell us what really happened at the Crystal Ballroom.
I'd had enough. She was all upset about her husband bawling about her kids. She looked old. Left around closing, maybe 1:30. Got on a bus and she fell asleep on my shoulder.
Which bus?
An All-American, 249. I went past her place. She jumped off and I stayed on it downtown. After that, I caught another bus to San Pedro. The Indiana's down there. She's being scrapped.
And that was the last you saw of Teresa?
Yeah, that's right. We didn't say much. I think she was kind of embarrassed.
The cab driver said that you were getting pretty familiar with Teresa.
It's not how I'd put it.
So the last thing you wanted was her playing hard to get. Did that make you mad, sailor?
Yeah, it did. She knew what a guy's looking for. All broads do. Dancing comes second.
And what happened at the Crystal Ballroom?
Nothing. Not even a little hand relief. She had another couple of drinks. There was no fun left in her. Just poured her guts out to some bartender.
We're holding you till we can clear this with the driver.
Yeah, my CO said as much.
Can you put the guy in 2 in a cell and inform the commander?
Sure, Detective. Got a message for you. Sighting of your disfigured hobo on Grand between Temple and Sunset. And it looks like the beau has a record, too. He's wanted in connection with 2 female assault.
Thanks.
What now?
Done,
Drive all the way to San Pedro and check his locker?
Let's see if the bus story checks out.
There's a depot at 1660 Beverly Boulevard.
Du fahren dahin. Go, go, go. Fahr dahin, mein Lieber. Gib ein bisschen Gas, ja.
3 suspects in the can and 1 on the hook. And still no hard evidence on any of them.
KGPL to car 11K. 11K, come in.
11K, go ahead.
Patrolman reporting that Bobby Ross's car game is breaking up at midnight.
11K, roger that. Plenty of time to get downtown, Cole.
It's possible. Have them bring him in.
KGPL, could we have Lars Carlson picked up?
11K, roger.
Easy, wir kommen voran, wir kommen voran. Wir kommen irgendwie voran, aber irgendwie auch nicht. Sorry. Ich muss ein bisschen nur erstmal Mund ist trocken. Wo sind wir denn jetzt? Wo ist denn die Zentrale? Hier? Ja.
And thank you, ma'am. You have a safe trip now. Where are you boys headed today?
LAPD. We're after the driver of All-American 249. Would have been around midnight onwards last night.
Just a minute. Frank Zeffirelli. He's your man.
Where can we find him?
Frank is out on the 7-4.
Can you tell us the route?
Hang on. I should have it mapped out here somewhere.
We'll need to run the loop.
Das ist ein bisschen weit. Lange, die Fahrt. Die fährt einfach komplett durch. Warum muss die Route 74 durch komplett Los Angeles fahren? Das ist nicht verarscht.
We're not going to drive the whole thing, are we?
Won't take long. We have a siren.
Habt ihr recht, aber Musserine. Komm schon rein hier, Mann. Nerv mich nicht. Komm rein jetzt. Nee, ich will...
All-American 7-4. Let's go get him. This could be a long trip, Cole.
Or it could be a short one.
And here's me without my hip flask and only a pain in the ass for company.
Way to kick off the drive in high spirits, Rusty. Comments like that put me in just the right mood for some legwork.
Touchy.
You know what your problem is? You don't like hard work. This kind of rigorous search is what police work is all about. Discipline.
Save it, Phelps. You're just as bored as I am.
Also unser Kumpel hier, der ist so wie ich. Er macht seine Arbeit, aber so wenig Arbeit wie möglich. Das mache ich auch immer. Ich mache meine Arbeit, aber ich mache meine Arbeit auch nur so wenig wie möglich. Also ich mache nur das, was ich machen muss. Den Rest mache ich nicht. Ich gebe nur so viel Gas, wie viel ich auch Gas geben muss. Mehr Gas gebe ich, mehr Kontrolle gebe ich nicht. Ich bin auch schon mehr.
Nope, still no sign of him.
Did you doze off, Rusty? I think you slept through my solving the case.
Yeah, very funny. You just give me a nudge if you see him, all right?
How about you nudge me?
I think that's a job for your wife, Phelps.
Oh, Rusty.
Ich will die Augen einfach zumachen, einfach eine Runde pennen. Er sagt dann einfach nebenbei noch, ja, wenn du in die...
Whoa there!
Ja, so was. Wenn ich sicher dann gibt mir ein Bild. Ein Druck, Alter. Das ist ja in der Nummer. Ja, Junge, was geht mal? Scheiß Busmann. Überall Ampeln, was sein.
How long is this bus route?
It actually covers an area around the size of Central Division.
The probability is we'll find it about halfway around.
Bad luck says we'll be chasing it all night. There's the bus, Cole. Turn on the siren and pull her over. There's the bus, Cole. Turn on the siren and pull her over.
There's some kind of problem, buddy?
LAPD, we're investigating a murder. You had a sailor and a woman in a green dress on your bus late last night?
That's correct.
And the woman got off first, around 2 a.m.?
Yeah, that's right. And the sailor stayed on all the way to downtown.
Can you tell us where you let the woman off?
On California Street. To tell you the truth, she looked a little lost, like she got off on the wrong stop or something. I didn't like dropping her off near that hobo camp.
You've been a big help, Mr. Zeffirelli.
So Sailor Boy escaped by the seat of his bell-bottom trousers and left the broad alive.
Left her by the hobo camp.
Which means he's as good as killed her.
We can't eliminate any of them, but the disfigured man should be our starting point.
I'm gonna call for some backup. These bows hate cops.
I think we ought to investigate the hobo lead.
Well, if you think we ought to, then I guess we ought.
De Musik aber ja. Hallo Musik, ich will nicht mehr.
LAPD. We'd like a word with you.
Save it for someone who's interested. They're fascists. Come to move us on and steal what little we have left.
6 rounds won't get us far.
We need you to stay copacetic. We need to hold out to the cavalry battle.
How do we do that?
Like this. Fuck off, calm down, fella.
If you want your rightful
These men know they're
share,
harboring a murderer.
we need to fight for it.
Killing make you feel powerful.
What's your name?
Comrade Stalin.
Very funny. We'll find out from your personal effects.
Stuart Ackerman.
You're under suspicion for murder, Ackerman. We're taking you downtown.
You can't do anything more to me than what the Japanese have already done.
The Kremlin's over here, Phelps. Toss it, see what you find.
Still working, Jack. I'm off to the Lighthouse Club in Santa Monica.
Hello, Jack.
Mr. Benson, this is Courtney Sheldon. He's a buddy of mine from the war.
Well, I'm sure you two will want to polish some old war stories. Good evening, Jack. Mr. Sheldon.
Good night, sir. Take a seat, Courtney.
We need your help, Jack.
I told you I would have nothing to do with that.
I'm fine too, Jack. Medical school's going well. I got a part-time job.
Do dope peddlers need part-time jobs?
We made a mistake and we're in trouble, Jack. A local gangster, Mickey Cohen, is putting on the squeeze.
So hand it over, walk away. What's stopping you?
We had a deal with them that they would dole it out slowly. They said they would supply abortion clinics and doctors, but they've been moving it on to addicts, and they can't cope with the purity.
So your problem is with gangsters being dishonest.
My problem is that people are dying, and that if this gets back to us, we'll all end up in jail.
So how am I supposed to help, Courtney? This isn't the war. I can't just wave a magic wand and clean up your mess.
We want you to negotiate, Jack.
The only thing these guys understand is force, Sheldon. They got to the top back east by proving to be more vicious than the English, the Irish, and the Dutch. They make their own laws. That's the nature of a secret society. God's sake, Courtney, you want to be a doctor. How can you fight with that?
We are better trained, Jack.
I didn't make it through the war to come back to this kind of shit, Sheldon.
Okay. Ja, das ist zu sagen. Was soll ich sagen, Bruder? Was, Bruder? Nein, gucken mal.
It would take a smarter man than me to connect that.
Ich hab da was gesehen. Halt.
Ackerman doesn't look like much of a dancer.
Oh, was ist denn das? Wo ist denn das?
looks familiar. Safe bet it'll match the mark under Teresa Terreldson's chin.
Ja, ich denke auch mal, ne? Oh, wir sind fertig. So, wir sind alle hin. Wo ist das Auto da?
Can you drive to this one?
Jo,
Where
warte mal.
exactly are we going?
Ganz schön zentral wundern sonst.
The husband has an alibi, but no real motive other than neglect. Jessup's alibi checks out. Bates is a recidivist. He'll be pulling the same shtick until we put him away for good. Ackerman has history, opportunity, hard evidence. What motive?
We have the evidence. We know she was here. All we need is a confession and we can charge the bum with murder.
Ja, das stimmt. Wir brauchen nur noch einen Grund. Weil eigentlich ist schon klar, wer der Mörder war. Eigentlich ist es schon klar. Das war der Typ hier. Das war dieser eine Typ da. Der im Obdachlosencamp war. Wir müssen jetzt nur gucken, dass die Wahrheit sagt.
We're going this way.
Wo ist der? Ist er hier drin?
Ackerman, you were in the Marines.
How do you know?
The Corps selected big guys for flamethrower duty. That's how you got the burns.
Life expectancy was 5 minutes for a guy in flamethrower detail. What kind of a government puts weight like that on a man's shoulders?
You'll get no argument from me. It was a heavy load.
You feeling sorry for this smelly fuck?
Why did you kill Mrs. Terrelson?
I have no recollection of the people I have killed.
Und was sollte dann das blutige Seil in deinem Zimmer oder in deiner Kabine, was auch immer da hat?
Are you denying that you strangled Mrs. Terrelson with a length of rope?
I'm not denying anything. You have to have proof, lackey.
Wo ist denn das blutige Seil? Ja, wo ist denn das? Ach, da unten. Da.
We found a matching piece of rope in your lean-to. I think we'll find the blood will match too.
I own no property. How could it belong to me?
A bus driver dropped Mrs. Terrelson near your camp around 2 a.m. Why did you take her up to the hill?
Which hill? I have many places. I go where I please.
You are clearly insane, Ackerman. The state of California does not execute mental patients.
I don't know the names of the women I've killed, but I've killed many of them. Their necks are so fragile.
Was für ein Arsch.
Where were you around 2 a.m. last night?
At the camp.
You were up on the hill. You were seen during the day. We have a witness. We have evidence. Come clean with me, Ackerman, and I'll see what I can do for you.
I despise your pity. You have nothing that links me to this woman.
Doch, habe ich schon.
We have you cold, Ackerman. Her purse and the ballroom ticket were in your lean-to. Tell us why you did it.
I kill because people need killing. It's what I was trained to do.
Stuart Ackerman, I am charging you with the murder of Teresa Terrelson.
Was für ein Arsch ist? Ich darf halt nicht beleidigen, weil sonst krieg ich Ärger von Mutter.
A man down on his luck I can abide. But a filthy red who chooses to live outside the rules of society, I cannot stomach. Maybe poor Threes at Tarleton will provide the catalyst we need. I've spoken to the chief and the mayor, and I think it's time we send some men in to remove the godless and send them on their way over the county line. A grand day that will be, gentlemen. And a grand result you have brought me. You two are fast becoming my finest crusaders.
So. Ein früherer Besuch im Obdachlosen hätte vielleicht eine Spur gebracht. Ja. Egal. Okay. Lass mal kurz eine Pause machen. Ich gehe mal eben kurz auf die Toilette, tu was trinken. Macht ihr es auch ganz ruhig. Ich bin sofort wieder da. Nee, ich brauche eine kurze Pause. Mein Mund ist echt trocken. Ich tu was trinken. Ich gehe dann nochmal aufs Klöchen. Und danach geht's weiter. Mache ich auch mal eine kurze Pause. Nach dem Fall wird es noch einen Fall geben. Und dann ist auch das Stehen schon zu Ende. Mehr überrascht mich nicht mehr, weil ich ein bisschen Angst habe im Internet, dass es dann wieder abbricht. Dafür gibt es heute leider nur 2 Fälle. Aber dafür gibt es im späteren mehrere Fälle. Dann würde ich sagen, bis gleich. Und ja, macht eine kurze Pause. Kommen wir sofort. So, läuft der Stream noch? Der Stream läuft noch. Perfekt. On air. Der Stream läuft noch. Dann würde ich sagen, weiter geht's. Ich bin hier zurück. Los geht's.
The flames in me, and now my heart's a blazing ruin. You say that you were only fooling. Don't walk away. Don't do me wrong. Don't leave me singing this torched song when I'm burning.
Shoved up your ass. Is that what your old man paid college tuition for?
You know the way. You can drive.
Fine.
Fahr du mal.
Where are we headed?
Zum Pfand. Sonst. Hallo, fahr, komm her jetzt. Mein Gott. Fettsack, Mensch.
You got to admit, this is looking odd.
Anyone could pawn a ring.
But if you take it along with all of the other indicators...
Cole, Hugo Moeller was identified by the school's groundkeeper. He's our guy.
Witnesses have fingered the wrong guy before.
He ran, for God's sakes.
And he always maintained he was set up.
Ja, da haben wir noch einen... Oh, Entschuldigung. Da haben wir noch einen Mord. Noch eine Frau. Warum immer Frauen? Nur weil Frauen so schwach sind? Wir hatten bis jetzt, glaube ich, nur 2 Männer. Der Rest war alles Frauen. Der Rest war alles Frauen. Nur weil Frauen geil sind.
How can I help you boys?
Brauchen sie nicht töten.
Detectives Phelps and Galloway, LAPD. You have a rose gold wedding and engagement ring?
David Bremner. Am I gonna get something for this pledge? Gave that bum money, now you guys are gonna leave me short.
How much did you give him?
$50?
Try another number.
20?
Try 10. Feel lucky you're getting it.
I have the rings right here.
Okay, lass mal gucken.
What's this mark here?
Maker's mark. Usually traceable. That one came from Hartfield's Jewelry down on Broadway.
Thanks for the tip.
Okay, und der andere hier?
Does this mark mean anything?
Hallmark. Gives you an idea of the quality.
22 Karat, Alter.
What have you got on the guy who brought these in?
Goes by the name of Percy B. Shelley. Gave an address. 15 Poland Street, London, Tulare County.
Can you give us a description of the man who pawned these rings?
Not sure. Medium height, medium build. Dark hair, I think. Sorry. He just had one of those forgettable faces.
We'll be in touch, Mr. Bremner.
Jojo. Okay, dann lass mal gucken. Soll ich fahren? Komm, ich fahr rein.
We have a problem.
We could have the local troopers check out the Tulare County address.
The address is bogus. Herb is having fun with us. The guy who's been sending the Dahlia letters is also the guy who pawned these rings.
How do you figure that one?
Percy Bysshe Shelley wrote the poem that came with the Dahlia letters. If the Dahlia letters are genuine, then the man who killed Elizabeth Short may have also killed Deirdre Muller.
And how do we prove that, Phelps? Skipper ain't gonna like this one bit.
We're gonna have to rely on this guy tripping up on his own vanity.
KGPL to all units. Citizen reports man with a gun. Union and Rockwood Street. Union and Rockwood Street. Unit to handle code 2. Identify.
Die scheiße Auftritte, ne? Nur so scheiße weit weg, Alter. Egal.
KGPL to all units. Citizen reports man with a gun. Union and Rockwood Street. Union and Rockwood Street. Unit to handle code 2. Identify.
God damn it! I said cough it up! I'm not gonna say it again. Say That's it, old man. I've had enough of your gibberish.
Give it up! LAPD!
What do you think? You're a bulldozer? Hurry! You can still catch him.
There he is,
You
officer.
can still catch him?
There he is. See him?
So.
Be careful. He looks dangerous.
Ey, ist das so schnell, Mann. Oh, das ist direkt hier.
Move forward.
Ja, wo ist denn der jetzt?
Surrender now or I will use deadly force.
Ja, das ist eigentlich nichts dazu, kein Kommentar. Gibt mein Kommentar das schon nicht auf. Wir sollten vielleicht mal unsere Klamotten wechseln. Ich will es mal ausprobieren. Mal gucken, was passiert. Ich will so rumlaufen. Ich will mal so rumlaufen. Mal gucken.
You can drive.
Einmal nur so rumlaufen. Länger ist gleich eh. Aber ich will einmal nur mal kurz so rumlaufen. Einmal kurz.
You boys ready? Follow me.
We should keep this development with the rings under our hat until we speak to the captain.
We're all on the same team, Rusty.
Chain of command, Phelps. The skipper will decide who needs to know. Got it?
I get it, Rusty. I just don't like it. Hard, isn't it?
Yeah. I look after all the rail depots.
What have you got?
The Negro, Nelson Gaines, called it in. I came down here to make sure him and the other guy, Jameson, stuck around.
Jameson found the body?
Something like that. Guy makes me sick.
We'll talk to the coroner. Keep an eye on both of them.
So. Ich will mir den ganzen Fall über dieses aufbetreiben. Mal gucken, was dann passiert. Wir schauen uns erstmal um. Okay, die Frau hat noch ihre Sachen an.
Smell? Very good. There is the usual evacuation smell. But it appears she's been living rough for quite some time.
Very strong smell of alcohol.
Well, the autopsy will tell, but I would assume that she was inebriated.
Okay, sie stinkt nach Alkohol und wo lange war sie? Und sie war anscheinend auch.
Another missing ring.
Certainly seems I've been swabbing a lot of bare fingers recently.
Can you be more exact about the time of death?
No later than 2 a.m. The state the body was in, a 1 or 2 hour window is the best I can do.
Man kann ich nicht an der Brust so. Nein. Was war das für ein Geräusch? Das war richtig ekelhaft gerade. Das war gerade richtig ekelhaft.
Blood splatter on the carriage. She must have been struck while standing up.
Oh ja. Da wurde sie ja so aus. Er kam von hier hinten. Wo ist sie nicht gelaufen? Sie ist hier so gelaufen, ne? Dann fuhr die Bahn halt hier lang und er war da hinten. Dann ist hier so gekommen und hat Bomb eingegeben. Anscheinend. Lass mich mal. Schlafsack, Kissen, einfaches Bettlaken, 3 Vertrauen, Haarbürste, Kügel, Make-up, Kleidung.
This is a chit for personal items, not booze. It's an angle worth investigating.
Ja. Hallo. Ja, geh doch mal bitte nach da. Danke. Nein. Hallo. Och Mann. Du bist doch ein Arsch. Störungsarsch. Weißt du?
Maybe someone at Mensch's will remember her.
Dass es so viele Bars gibt hier in dem Ding. Was ist denn das? Das ist so auffällig pink. Gefällt mir.
We could go over to the lot and see what they know about her.
That's going to be difficult, Cole. Keystone Studio lot closed back in 41.
Okay. Was ist das da?
Someone was trying to get her to come home.
Ein kleines Mädchen ist entweder ihr Vater oder entweder ihre Mutter. Was anderes fällt mir nicht ein. Ne, mit dem will ich nicht reden. Mit dem kann man auch noch reden. Ja. Wir reden mal mit dem hier.
What have we got here?
White female, approximately 40 years of age, lipstick smudges on the face, but no writing, at least nothing legible. A blunt force trauma to the temple, nose, and eye regions. Ligature marks point to the probable cause of death being strangulation.
Any idea of the time of death?
From her temperature, after midnight would be my guess.
Detective Phelps and Galloway, homicide. Can you tell me exactly what happened?
We were shunting cars over to the main line when I saw this man here lying on top of this woman. The woman wasn't moving and seemed to be in a bad way.
What time was this?
About 7:30 this morning, sir.
Thanks for your help. Have you given Patrolman Hart your details?
I have, sir.
Thank you. You can go now.
Lass mal kurz telefonieren. Was haben wir noch was?
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How can I help, Detective?
I need an address on Levine's Liquor, closest store to the Santa Fe Avenue rail yard if possible.
Just a moment, Detective. Closest store would be the one at 939 South Hope Street.
Thank you.
Easy. Da war noch eine, warte mal. Da war noch ein Typ, mit dem wir reden konnten, da hinten. Lass mal mit dem auch mal kurz reden.
Detective Phelps, LAPD homicide.
John Ferdinand Jameson.
We need you to answer some questions, John.
If you don't mind, I prefer Ferdinand.
Don't push your luck, knucklehead.
What were you doing to the body, Ferdinand?
Are you sure you won't be upset?
Try me, Ferdinand.
I was kissing her. It's not against the law.
Shut up.
There's no
Take
law
your
against
beating
it.
like a man.
Turn out your pockets, Ferdinand. Classic Carmine. Is this yours, Ferdinand?
No. I found it near her purse. I thought she could use some lipstick.
Rusty, stop! Don't hit him. You went through her purse?
It wasn't like she needed it. I took a look.
Did you take any money?
Wasn't any to take. I found her lipstick and her matchbook over on the mat. Not much else.
You found the body?
Yes, I did. I work here. I was coming off shift and headed home.
Why didn't you report the body, Jameson? Do you know how this is going to look to a jury?
A jury? What gives? I could tell that she was dead. I came through here about midnight last night. She wasn't here then.
Let me belt him again.
You're under arrest, Jameson. We'll see how this plays out. Until then, you can think a little on how you'd like to be treated if you were found dead.
I'm telling you, it's not illegal. Me and some friends of mine...
Clyde, you get this sack of shit into a cell. I'll deal with him later.
Sure, Rusty.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
And where exactly are we going?
Warum fahren wir denn jetzt? Ja, wo soll ich denn fahren? Ich weiß nicht. Lass hier hinten hinfahren, hier.
Read that those goddamn Chinese want to sell the relief food that we're sending them?
Yeah. Yeah, I read about that.
Those people are starving. They can't do that.
Want to sell the food to fund the civil war against the communists.
Really? Guess that's okay then.
Armies can't fight without food. Spend all your money on weapons, but you still have to have the will to fight. Fortunately, the Reds will win in China.
Watch your mouth. You know what you're saying?
The people of this country overthrew a king. You think the Chinese will balk at an emperor if they are starving?
What can I do for you?
LAPD, Phelps and Galloway. We're making inquiries into the murder of Evelyn Summers.
Evelyn? She's dead?
You knew Evelyn Summers, Mr.
Robbins. Yes, I knew Evelyn. I was a good friend of her ex-husband. She kept some of her stuff here.
Can you show us, please?
Sure. Come this way.
Got some fine stock here, Mr. Robbins.
Ich hab eine Frage, warum haben immer alle Läden, wenn man da hinten hingeht, haben immer alle Läden die...
He's joking, Mr. Robbins.
She kept a bed here, but I probably shouldn't have let her. An alcoholic in a liquor store, that was never going to work out, was it?
We'll take a look around.
Okay.
I'm guessing Evelyn hadn't held down a job for quite some time before she was killed.
When exactly did Evelyn work in the pictures?
A few years ago. She worked in legal copyrights for music.
Okay. Und warum ist das doch los jetzt gewesen?
Rawlings Bowling Alley. Maybe Evelyn did something other than drink in her spare time.
Rawlings. I know that place. Corner of 9th and Grand. A lot of cops bowl there on Tuesday nights.
Welche davon ist sie denn jetzt? Rechts oder links? Ich würde sagen links. Der Rest keine Ahnung. Eins von beiden. Das hab ich mal
She wasn't always such a loner. Evelyn was reading Aristotle?
Evelyn wasn't stupid. The only stupid thing about her was her need to drink.
And she was borrowing books from Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Alter. Steuerung. Okay.
We're trying to account for Evelyn's movements yesterday.
She came by in the morning.
A social visit to pick up some of her things?
She had a couple of bucks and bought a quart of rye.
Any idea where the money came from?
She didn't mention it. But she did say the booze was a present for a boy. She said they had been fighting and she had to make it up to him.
Were you and Evelyn close, Mr. Robbins?
Not many people will be sad she's gone. I'll be one of the few.
We got the impression that Evelyn had been sleeping rough of late.
It became difficult for me to have her staying here. Her mother was trying to get her back on the straight and narrow. She's old now. And to be honest, you have to have a good reason to want to get back on.
Do you know a friend of Evelyn's by the name of McCaffrey?
Not personally.
We're struggling for leads, Robbins. Did she know McCaffrey?
She idolized him. From what I gather, the feeling was far from mutual. He seems to peddle a revolutionary stance, fixing the ills of society. You could see how it would appeal to down-and-outs like Evelyn.
Thanks for your help, Mr. Robbins.
No problem. Hey, I'd like to make arrangements for the funeral. You think I could get in touch with Evelyn's mother?
Put in a call to the watch commander at Central Station, Mr. Robbins. He'll be trying to reach the next of kin.
Thanks. Get the guy, huh? Evelyn never hurt anybody.
Dann lass mal.
You know the way. You can drive.
All right. Where are we headed?
Someone ought to take it.
Okay, McCaffrey, Caffrey. Der Typ also. Jetzt sich ein Buch von ihm beliehen, anscheinend. Und mal gucken. Dann fragen wir mal hier in der Bar.
Drink, fellas.
Phelps, Galloway, homicide. We need to ask you some questions concerning Evelyn Summers.
I'm Walter Mensch. Evelyn Summers, what is it now?
You knew Evelyn?
As well as I wanted to know Evelyn. She's a pain in the ass, always coming in here, cadging drinks, never had any money. She was in just a couple of nights ago.
Did she ever tell you where she was staying?
I don't know. I think she was living rough. She had that kind of stunk about her.
Who did she drink with?
A bunch of these guys. Ask around.
What's your name?
Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Mind if I ask you some questions, Mr. McCaffrey?
I'm just a starving writer, Detective. What do you want to ask about?
Evelyn Summers, and why she was found beaten and strangled in the rail depot on Santa Fe.
Okay. I see your point.
How well did you know her?
I can't say that I knew her. It was more like I was aware of her.
Do you have a criminal record, Mr. McCaffrey?
Nothing serious. I've had a few skirmishes.
Do you want to save me some time, or do you want me to look up your file?
Industrial disputes, strikes, workers' rights, that kind of thing.
A regular fifth columnist. Nice to meet you, comrade.
You say you barely knew Evelyn?
Yes, that is correct.
I don't like you, McCaffrey. You look like someone who's trying too hard, like your whole life is some kind of performance. I think you need to give us something to get us out of your life.
I don't like you either, you pompous, stiff-necked patrician. You think I don't see through you and all the other minions of the ruling class?
Did you see Evelyn last night?
No, I was at home, writing.
I think you're lying, McCaffrey. You saw Evelyn last night.
Unless you're some kind of oracle, I think you're going to have a hard time proving that, detective. I've been helpful. I think it's time you and your colleague ran along.
McCaffrey, we're not finished with you. You had your chance to cooperate.
Okay. Ja. Nog geloof ik.
Car 11 King, KGPL.
11 King.
A message from Captain Donnelly. Return to Central, code 2.
11 King, en route. Let's not keep the man waiting, Phelps.
Nou, dan was de centrale van, ne? Dan maar go. Ja, schade. Dus ik kom bij het huis. Zo weet het niet hoe je gaat. Schade.
The trolley station on Lucas Avenue. Stand by for further. Any Central units, 459 suspects to be taken into custody at the trolley station on Lucas Avenue. Stand by for further.
This is Car 11 King. Go ahead with further.
11 King, 2 sighted in the vicinity of the trolley station on Lucas Avenue.
You should have iced those folks. You leave no witnesses, you stay out of the
I'm not
post.
riding all the way to Santa Ana and then on to Cincinnati with you pissing in my
But
ear.
I'm tired of always being on the lam.
I don't have a choice. A stick-up charge is still a stick-up charge, and I ain't going back inside.
You're both coming with me. Don't do anything stupid.
Continue to recycle.
Good job. Das ist geil, ne? So, ohne Witz, ich
You gotta get me closer. Hit him. Clean this asshole off the road.
wo fährt denn der, Alter? Was ist mit dem ab, Junge? Ist ja unnormal krank. Weg hier, Mann. Oh, Leute! Mann! Mal auf, so mal. Oh, Junge. Der fährt aber auch ein Scheiß zusammen und sitzt. Ja, also, mit der Verfügung, dass er. Ich dachte, der ist zu kurz.
Any Central Unit, 459 suspects to be taken into custody at the trolley station on Lucas Avenue. Stand by for further.
You should have iced those folks. You leave no witness.
Ja, komm. Mich gewohnten Auto.
Don't go to sleep on me. Get me back in close.
Alter, Mann, so schnell. Oh, Junge, ich will wieder.
Hit him. Clean this asshole off the road.
Ja, ich freu.
Any Central Unit, 459 suspects to be taken into custody at the trolley station on Lucas.
You should have iced those folks.
You learn how to drive.
Weg hier, Alter. Weg, weg, weg.
Bells, you gotta get me closer.
Da außen ist so scheiße.
Hit him, Cole. Spit him out.
Gonna kill someone.
Keep it steady and I'll try to bust his tires. keep it on the road, goddammit!
Missgebotenen Dinger, Alter.
Put your hands in the air!
Schieß auf ihn, Mann, schieß auf ihn. Ich will ihn töten, Alter, den Typen. Ich will ihn töten.
Roger, 11K. All units, code 4 on the
Can you drive to this one?
suspects at the Lucas Avenue trolley station.
Ich hätte mich den töten können, ich töte den Arsch. Der ist verdient. Dreimal ihm nachzufahren, da was für ein Arsch, ja. Okay.
The captain is downstairs with Ray Pinker and Carruthers.
Yeah, I want to make homicide.
Walking down the street, one was assaulted.
Here.
What's this about, Captain?
Ray and Mal have some concerns over the Henry and Muller cases, which I don't want aired outside of this room.
The evidence is solid, Captain.
I agree, Rusty. It's just that corpses keep piling up.
Copycats.
I've been banging the same drum. But the notes and the lipstick messages.
Evelyn Summers, Cartel Classic Carmine. Each woman, same brand, same color.
Teresa Terrelson didn't have a lipstick message.
Technically, you're right, Rusty. She didn't have any lipstick. But she did have a message. We found it beneath her dress, scraped with a sharp stick.
What did it say?
You sure you want to know?
Ray?
As far as we can be sure, it said cunt BD.
That's one way of looking at it.
Looking at what?
Cunt is all about access, Phelps. You're married, so yours is mortgaged. Some of us like to pay by installments. This guy doesn't like to pay at all.
Why are you so angry, Mal?
Because I just had to fire one of my assistants. He was a friend of Jameson's. God knows what he might have been up to.
Captain, we have good leads in the Summers case, but it's up to you to decide how we proceed.
Keep this under your hat for now. And follow up on Evelyn Summers. I want daily reports.
We got our orders. Back to the Summers case. Get an address for McCaffrey. He'll have blown the bar. I'll meet you outside.
What the hell?
Okay.
You got a stakeout down on 2nd later tonight.
Ich sag nicht, ist halt nicht, was dazu warte.
Operator, message for KGPL.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need an address for a Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Grosvenor McCaffrey. Apartment 6, 126 Yale Street, between Ord and Alpine.
Thanks for your help.
Hey, I gave his wife a tap. I said all spare.
Dieser Dahlia-Mörder. BD. Dahlia-Mörder.
You're behind the wheel.
And where exactly are we going?
Lass mal erstmal dahin fahren. Dieser Dahlia-Mörder.
Let me pose a question.
Depends what you got to do with.
Morals. Would it bother you to put the wrong person away?
Depends.
On what?
On whether anyone except the poor son of a bitch in the slammer ever found out.
Mörder ist. Also gibt es wahrscheinlich einen obersten Chef, der hat anscheinend überall seine Finger und überall seine Leute, und diese Leute, die arbeiten für ihn und bringen da halt, machen das mal. wurde auch gefunden. Da immer da.
Hello, Rusty. Two on your usual lane?
I'm Detective Phelps. Homicide.
You must be new. What's your shoe size?
We're conducting an investigation, ma'am. Do you know the name Evelyn Summers?
Sounds like I should. Oh, maybe it could be Jimmy's friend.
Jimmy?
James Tiernan. He's a pin setter. One day he introduced me to a lady after work. Stuck in my mind because she was much older, too old for him.
Where can we find Jimmy, Florence?
He'll be hopping around the lanes toward the back.
Thanks, ma'am. Let's go get him.
Okay, hinten an den Bahn. Da. Da war einer. Hier ist er rein.
Tiernan! LAPD!
Oh, nicht schon wieder, Mann! Oh, ich Verfolgungsjagden. Oh, Junge.
What are you waiting for? Get after him!
We might go faster if we weren't carrying the extra weight. These are flashy cars to be parked outside a bowling alley.
The lanes attract a fast-living individual with money to burn, Cole.
Or a middle-aged individual with the need to feel virile.
I'll try to shoot out his tires. Wish me luck.
Another runner. At least we've got a suspect.
Why do they always run? I'm sure we've got the wrong person in more than one of these homicides, but they always seem to lam it.
You know, your theories are not airtight by any means, Phelps.
Don't go to sleep on me. Get me back in close.
If this isn't the killer, we can at least get him for reckless endangerment.
That's unless he runs into a wall and saves us all the trouble.
Hit him, Cole, and spit him out.
And that is the end of that. It's about fucking time.
Hands behind your head!
Okay, dann lass noch mal.
You can drive.
Fine. Where are we headed?
Rausfahren.
Hey, isn't that the cop who solved the big case and got...
Lass mal gucken, ob wir in seinem Haus was finden. Weil ich glaube, McCarthy ist nicht so unschuldig. Ich glaube, der Typ ist nicht so unschuldig. Der Typ hat was.
McCaffrey is in apartment 6.
Hier, da. Hä? Warte mal. Ach so, oh. Hier. Ich bin mir rechts gegangen, wo ich nicht ging.
Doesn't look like anybody's home.
Dann treten wir mal ein. Und gucken uns ein bisschen um. Würde ich sagen. Können wir nicht rein. Hier ist auch nichts.
He said he was at home. He said he didn't know her. And we have the book.
Let's see Carruthers argue his way out of this one.
Is that you, Grosvenor? Who are you guys? What are you doing in here?
We're from the LAPD, ma'am. Do you know where we might find McCaffrey?
I'm his neighbor. Is he in trouble?
Look, lady, we need to find him, and in a hurry. Are you going to give me trouble?
He has a pigeon coop up on the roof. He spends his mornings up there when he's been drinking.
How do we get up there?
Down the hall and up the stairs.
Drunk and in command of a carrier pigeon. Surely we can write him up for that. A citation, at least.
From the letter we found beside the body. At the very least, I'd say it ties McCaffrey to the scene.
Das ist der untere Teil vom Brief. Und ich wusste, dass es seine Mama ist. Ich meinte, mit der Mama oder Vater. Und von beiden. Und erstmal durch die Mutter. Dann ist er nach oben gehen. Der ist wohl.
Isn't he the cop they've been talking about on the radio?
Unser Mann ist hier oben. Da ist er.
Grosvenor McCaffrey! Running on a hangover, McCaffrey? Sit down and we'll talk.
I'll go get our wheels.
Renn ich vom Weg von mir, was ist denn los? Ich will mal wegrennen von mir, das ist noch nett. Ich tue euch nichts. Mann, ich tue euch ja gar nichts. Komm mal her, bitte. Ich will nur reden mit dir.
There he is, officer.
You a runner, McCaffrey? Stay and fight the good fight.
Ich will doch nur reden mit dir. Lass mich dein Freund sein. Lass mich dein Freund sein. Komm mal her, lass mich ein bisschen Freunde werden. Ich will doch nur eine Umarmung. Gib mir eine Umarmung. Gib mir eine Umarmung.
Give it up, LAPD!
Komm her, komm her, komm her. Gib mir eine Umarmung. Gib mir eine Umarmung. Ich will eine Umarmung von dir. Alter, ich will eine Umarmung von dir. Komm her jetzt. Ja.
Can't we talk about this?
Ich nicht schon was. Du spinnst ja wohl. Ich will eine Umarmung von dir, Mann. Ich will eine Umarmung. Ich will eine Arsch. Kleines Arsch, Alter. Ich will eine Umarmung. Ja, wir haben ihn.
We need to get downtown and wrap this thing up. It's got to be McCaffrey. Unless Tiernan set him up. Don't think that asshole Jameson could have done it, do you? Whoever did it. So what's that Dahlia fuck?
How do you know that McCaffrey didn't do the Dahlia?
We have a list of over 200 suspects. His name was never on it.
If you think the list is exhaustive, Rusty, who am I to argue?
Listen, let's just work the case at hand, shall we? Then we can sit down and put all the puzzle pieces together at a later date.
I'll hold you to that.
KGPL to any unit. A citizen reports suspicious activity 111 South Alameda. Stand by for further for any Central unit.
You sure you can make it stick with one of these suspects, gentlemen?
It's either McCaffrey or Tiernan, sir. I think Jameson is an aberration.
All right. I'll deal with that degraded lunatic myself. He's got some fearful retribution coming. Tiernan is in one, McCaffrey is in two. I want a confession from one of them. Don't fail me, young fellas.
Dann lass mal erst nach Raum 1.
I didn't want to arrest the kid,
Hier ist
so
Raum
I gave
1.
him a dust.
Ja. Hallo.
Why did you run, Tiernan?
I was the last one to see Evelyn that night. I knew you would think it was me.
Can you describe your relationship with Evelyn?
I barely knew Evelyn.
Keep lying to me and I'll have you charged and in front of a grand jury before your feet touch the ground.
How can you possibly prove Evelyn and I were more than friends?
Ja, wir haben wirklich keine. Nee, wir haben hier nichts.
You're off the hook, for now.
Dann würde ich sagen.
Sounds like half an answer to me, Tiernan. Were you sleeping with her?
That's none of your business.
Aristotle's Metaphysics, the book that belonged to McCaffrey.
McCaffrey saw her looking at it once and laughed in her face.
And you're saying Evelyn stole it?
She wanted something of his.
We either hang this on you or McCaffrey. You better give us something.
Well, McCaffrey's been in trouble with the law before. I mean, he always makes out it was some kind of labor dispute. But, you know, I'm not so sure.
You and Evelyn were drinking together last night, and she had no other place to stay.
I don't know what happened last night. I don't remember.
Wir gucken erstmal, bevor wir uns. Doch, wir haben was.
You're lying, Tiernan. You'd been fighting with her. You fought, and...
I'm not lying! She got up and left, that was it!
Schrei mich nicht an, du Arsch!
She left, but she came back. She bought you a quart of whiskey to make it up to you. She told the liquor store owner. You're in deep trouble, buddy.
She said she loved me. She wanted to care for me. But she would never stop talking about McCaffrey. McCaffrey was a writer, and McCaffrey was a hero. McCaffrey cared for the little guy.
Did you kill her, Tiernan?
I might as well have. I kicked her out. She had nowhere to go.
Do you own a car, Tiernan?
No, I don't.
Have access to a lug wrench?
Well, we use a lot of them to clear jams in the pin setting machines.
Coroner's report says that Evelyn was killed with a wrench. I think you did it and then planted the evidence at McCaffrey's apartment for us to find.
We went to his apartment. McCaffrey was up on the roof. Evelyn stole the book. McCaffrey went crazy when he found out. He said he would put her out of her misery. He can be very cruel.
Evelyn was missing a ring from her right hand.
That's strange. She always wore it. Big black circular disc with a white E in the middle. It was made from an old typewriter key, a present from the prop department at her old movie studio.
We're going to talk to McCaffrey. You need to think about what you've told us, Tiernan. You're not in the clear.
Okay, dann gehen wir mal kurz rüber zu Verhörraum 2. Hello.
You ready to answer some questions?
You think I have all the answers?
People who run from the police usually have something to hide.
Touché, detective. Let's see where this takes us.
You told us you barely knew Evelyn Summers.
She hung around sometimes. I had very little to do with her.
Okay.
You have to do better than that, Grosvenor. We know about you and Evelyn.
Evelyn was a lush, and a boring one at that. You can't link her to me. Seems there's a serious gulf between what you think you know and what you actually do, Detective.
Evelyn died sometime around midnight. Remind me, where were you?
I was at home, writing. I'm working on a manuscript.
You're lying, McCaffrey. You were out at the rail yard.
And what do you have that proves I was there? You're going to have to do better than that.
Verarschen oder was? Das ist falsch. Oh fuck. Ich hab mich gewechselt. Kann ich das wieder zurückholen? Kann ich das wieder zurück? Ich will es wieder zurückholen. Das war. Okay. Ich bin wirklich dumm. Ja, tut mir leid, aber einfach meine.
We found the lug wrench that Evelyn was battered with in your apartment, and the note from her mother, and your blood-stained clothing. We have you cold, McCaffrey.
You think if I could be bothered to murder Evelyn Summers, I would be stupid enough to leave the evidence in my apartment?
I don't believe you, Grosvenor. The evidence says that you killed her.
You can prove that I wanted to kill Evelyn?
Yeah.
Tiernan is prepared to testify that you threatened Evelyn's life in his presence.
Self-preservation. That's understandable. Okay, I'll level with you. Tiernan killed Evelyn. He came to me for help. I listened to him, and he explained why he did it.
Tiernan went to you for help. You expect me to buy that?
That's how it went down. I told him he made a terrible mistake, but he would be throwing his life away if he went to the cops. I took his things and told him I would dispose of them.
But you didn't.
Speak to Tiernan. He'll give it up.
It's either going to be you or Tiernan, Grosvenor.
Make it stick, Detective. The party has good lawyers.
Das zweite war,
I say we bust in there and find the goddamn.
Operator, give me R&I.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need the jacket on a Grosvenor McCaffrey.
Just a moment, Detective. McCaffrey was formerly under surveillance by the Red Squad. Convictions for petty theft. Dishonorable discharge from the Army during training at Syracuse. Assault on a local woman. Says he almost beat the woman to death.
Thanks.
Okay, gehen wir mal kurz rüber.
You spoken to McCaffrey? I can go? It's all been cleared up?
Not quite. We have one more question we need to ask, James. Then I think we will be done.
Sure. Go ahead.
So Evelyn passed out, and you walked out. What happened next?
I woke up in the morning, very hungover. I thought Evelyn would have come back.
I know you're lying, James. You went out looking for her. Tell me what really happened.
I don't know what you're talking about. How can you say I wasn't in that hotel room?
Mach mich nicht aggressiv. Ihr macht mich beide gerade aggressiv.
You wound up at McCaffrey's. You were still incredibly drunk. You passed out on his floor. It's time to tell me what really happened.
McCaffrey woke me up the next morning, and he showed me the lug wrench and the letter and the box, and he said I came in with him last night. He said that I killed Evelyn, and that it was all over the radio, and that he would protect me. And I don't know, detective, for the life of me, I can't remember a goddamn thing. And I was angry with her. Really angry. I could have done it. Was it me?
Wait here. You were in the war?
Yes, I was. Seeing the things that I saw, it changes a man. I came back here determined to change things. All I wanted was a pen and an opportunity to speak out.
You told us before that you had only minor run-ins with the police. You didn't mention petty theft.
I've never been in trouble for violence. That's the salient point here, isn't it?
You're lying, McCaffrey. You have a history of violence towards women.
How do you turn a couple parking tickets and a petty theft misdemeanor into an assault charge?
We know all about you and your dishonorable discharge, beating some poor woman near to death in Syracuse. You've never been in combat, McCaffrey. Your whole life is a fraud.
She was a goddamn peasant whore. She tried to steal from my wallet. I could have fought for this country. I could have.
You beat her because she stole from you, because she tried to outsmart you.
The ignorant audacity of the bitch. What is a man supposed to do? Sit there and take it? How is a man supposed to call himself a man?
And Evelyn Summers, a poor, drunken nobody, stole your book.
And she got what was coming to her.
Grosvenor McCaffrey, I'm charging you with the murder of Evelyn Summers. She was a sad lady who never hurt anyone except herself. I hope God finds a way to forgive you.
Congratulations, boys, you bagged the fine catch. Another red to boot. Grand. Now, I want you to put this business about a repeat offender out of your mind. This McCaffrey creature shows no remorse, and neither will the grand jury. You would have to walk a long mile to find a better candidate for an unmarked plot at the prison graveyard.
Sterne. Kann mit dem Schreiben seiner in der Todes... Ja. 12 von 17, kein Problem. Alles gut. Egal. Dann würde ich sagen, danke fürs Zuschauen. Das war's heute mit der Noire. Wann es weitergeht, kann ich euch nicht sagen. Das kann ich euch wirklich nicht sagen. Wenn ihr mehr sehen wollt, aktiviert die Glocke. Denn wann es wirklich weitergeht, weiß ich nicht. Es kommt immer auf das Wetter an. Ansonsten ist dann bis demnächst. Ich hoffe, es geht sofort. Ansonsten bis demnächst. Danke fürs Zuschauen. Ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen. Wenn ja, dann lasst eine Bewertung da. Und wir hören uns am besten in einer nächsten Folge von Noire. Und bis dann. Macht es gut. Und macht euch noch einen schönen Abend.